What's up, guys? Good morning. All right, so it's been a while. It's been a few days. I've been out of town at a wedding, and so I'm actually happy to be back trading today. Let's see. So today, what's up, guys? Good morning. Hold on, let me get rid of this mute. All right, so today I'm watching ZTO. You could see it's gapping up pretty nicely with a decent amount of volume from 1930 to 2187, where it's sitting now. It's been riding the VWAP up in pre-market, and so we'll see if it holds that VWAP area at about, let me see, at about 2172 or 2185. Also watching TRXC, had a nice volume spike in pre-market as well, and it is at 383 now, gapping up from 313. Watching TXMD, gapping up in pre-market as well from 640 to 664. Watching Momo, it is gapping up from 38.95 to 42.92. And then really, I'm keeping an eye on some of the big movers from Friday, like VTGN, maybe for a continuation short here. It ended up dropping a pretty significant amount on Friday, all the way down to the 140s, and so we'll watch this one as well. GERN is a very small gap I'm keeping an eye on, see if it can make a run. SHLD, same thing, a small gap that I'm watching. It's at 357, closed at 349. FCSC, I don't know how I really feel about this one. I don't think I can trade it on TradeNet as well, but you know, it had a really big move, still up a ton from where it was at previously. I think this one may have been a split, though. It looks like a split, so we'll see what this one was as well. PBR, maybe a continuation short or a rebound here. Watching it as well, see if it can see what it does around this VWAP area at about 11. It's sitting holding over 11 right now. It's sitting at 1109, closing at 1261, so gapping down a pretty big amount. We'll see if it continues here. And also looking at ROKU, which is gapping up in pre-market. Not a lot relative to the price of the stock and how much it generally moves, but it is gapping up some and it has some movement in pre-market. And so I'll keep an eye on Roku as well, ROKU. And yeah, that's my watch list for today. I'll go ahead and add it to the chat. Yes, Evan, a lot of stuff moving today, man. Yeah, here's my watch list. This is everything I'm watching thus far. Let me see if I can find anything else. Alright, sorry, I'm just posting my watch list on Twitter. And going to go ahead and post it on Facebook. I'm sure I've got a ton of messages on Facebook and Twitter and everything. I've been out of town. But yeah, ZTO looks good. I'm definitely looking at them for some shorts. Alright, so hope everyone had a good long weekend. Let's see. What's up? What's up, Astra? Eric Wade. What's up, man? Seven. What's up, guys? Yeah, so I don't know if you guys know, but I hate flying. I am definitely afraid of heights. And so I really do not like flying. I've always kind of hated flying, right? And so I told my wife, I was like, look, I'm nervous about getting on the plane this weekend. And my wife tells me, oh no, everything's going to be fine, or whatever. And so the flight to New Orleans was fine, but the flight back was terrible. So on the flight back, we had severe turbulence. The oxygen masks came down, and we literally had to wear oxygen masks for half of the flight. Then they couldn't get the cabin to safely pressurized, and so that's ultimately why we had to wear oxygen masks. The pilot had to keep going up and down in altitude just to get us to a safe height to where we wouldn't have to wear oxygen masks anymore. There was alarms going off half the flight. I was freaking out on that plane, man. It was funny. I got a few pictures, but it was terrible, man. I told my wife, this is why I don't like flying. Yeah, but ultimately, I understand flying safer than actually driving. I just don't know what it is. I just feel out of control when I'm on a plane, if that makes sense. But yeah, it was scary for sure. Yeah, it was scary, Seven, man. I hated that. Ugh, oxygen masks half the plane, and the problem with it was that the oxygen mask dropped on the plane. And they didn't say anything about it for like 5 minutes. And so we didn't know whether we should put the oxygen masks on or if it was just like a mistake in that, it was just kind of an error in their software that made the oxygen mask drop or what it was. And then 5 minutes later, after letting us just kind of sit there and panic, they were like, oh yeah, we're having problems with the air pressure on the plane. Go ahead and put your oxygen masks on. It was honestly, it was lazy checkups by them. They didn't, they just didn't do it right. But yeah, so we got a few decent movers today. I'm just glad I'm back home on the ground. It wasn't that bad. Like the flight from Houston to New Orleans is only like an hour, and so it was a very short flight. But it was probably the worst flight I've ever been on. It was terrible, man. Anyways, so let's look to see if any of these are actually tradable. All right, so ZTO is tradable on TradeNet. TRXC is tradable. TXMD is tradable. MOMO is tradable. VTGN is tradable. GERN is tradable. SHLD is tradable. FCSC is not tradable. That's the first one that's not tradable. PBR is tradable. And ROKU is tradable. So everything on my watch list is essentially tradable except for FCSC. But everything else I'm watching is tradable, so that's good. MYSZ Sonic. Yeah, look at MYSZ. And look at Sonic with the serious post. But yeah, I like MYSC. It looks good. Let's see if I can trade this one. Yeah, I can trade it too. So yeah, it looks good. I'll probably add this one as well. But yeah, MYSC getting a nice volume spike there. Alright, but so since the majority of these are tradable, let's look up the news on these, see why some of these are moving this morning. What's up, Ben? Good morning, man. I'm good, man. I'm good. How are y'all? I hope everyone had a good three-day weekend. Alright, so the first one I'm looking up is ZTO. A lot of news stories out on this one. Alright, so it says Alibaba and Keneo make strategic investment in ZTO Express. It says the ZTO investment is to tap new retail opportunities and further digitalize China's logistics industry. It says they announced a strategic agreement in which investors led by Alibaba invest 1.38 billion into ZTO for a 10% equity stake in the company. And so that's good news for ZTO. Alibaba is a huge company, and it's gapping up to show it. So gonna keep an eye on ZTO for sure. Next one I'm looking at is TRXC, top right. All right, so it says Trans Interex, which is TRXC, obtains FDA approval for expanded indications of Senhance surgical systems. They jumped 28% in pre-market after they said that expanded indications for its Senhance surgical system received 510(k) clearance from the FDA. And so that's pretty good news. We'll see if it continues here. In particular, the company said the FDA has cleared the medical device company for laparoscopic inguinal hernia and laparoscopic cholecystectomy surgeries. So that's good news for TRXC. FDA approval is always really good news. We'll see if this one can continue. It's had a lot of support right here at 380, so we'll see if it continues running up after that. Next one I'm looking at is Momo, M-O-M-O. All right, so Momo is just a earnings results. They're up as the Q1 results beat the street expectations. And so they're up a decent amount from $38.95 to $43.13 on good earnings. We'll see what these do at the open. Next one I'm looking at is TXMD. TXMD doesn't really have any news out on this one right now. The last news story that came out was on the 23rd, but it's moving a lot more than it usually does in pre-market. I'll keep an eye on this one, see what this one does at the open. Next one I'm looking at. So I was watching BTGN, but I already know the news out on BTGN from Friday. And so watching GERN. See if it has anything out on it as well. Nothing out on that one as well. SHLD gapping up some. Let's look at this one as well. All right, so shares of Sears Holding Corporation, which is SHLD, jumps after ESL receives numerous inquiries for potential partnership and asset purchase deal. SHLD rallied 2.3% in pre-market after ESL Investments, which has proposed to buy certain assets of the troubled department store chain. And so ESL may be bailing out Sears, buying certain departments of it. Sears has been kind of going down here for the last few years, and so we'll see what happens with this one. Long term, I'm definitely more short biased with it, but we'll see. Looking at MYSZ, here you can see this one's getting a lot of volume, up from $1. This one's almost, let's see what the news is out on this one. All right, it says MYSZ receives notice of allowance from U.S. Patent and Trademark Office for foundational measurement technology patent. MYSZ develops and creates smartphone measurement applications. So like they measure your waist and stuff like that via smartphone without you having to go to a tailor per se. And they announced today that it has received a notice of allowance from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office for one of its patents. So that's good news for sure, but we'll see what happens with this one. It's bouncing right off of $1. I feel like they just don't want it to get under $1 because if it does, they can delist it. And so, we'll see what MISZ can do here. Next, looking at PBR, gapping down significantly. All right, so it says PBR slumps 14% as Brazil offers new fuel subsidies, revises diesel pricing policy. Brazil's government began providing new fuel subsidies and messed around with the oil major pricing policy in an effort to end a trucker strike in the country. All right, so this one's down because they're trying to get rid of that strike, I guess. They said they unveiled an agreement which domestic diesel prices would be decreased about 13% from prices at the pump and remain frozen for 60 days as a result of tax cuts and subsidies. So sounds like that's affecting the stock. We'll see if it can continue dropping or if it continues to bounce over that VWAP at 1107. You can see the VWAP's at 1107 now. We'll see if it bounces off of there, if it breaks under there, what happens at the open. And then the last one I'm kind of looking at is ROKU here. It's moving more than it usually does, I guess. Not gapping up a huge amount, but it's moving enough. All right, so this one's just up on Morgan Stanley upgrading it. All right, so it was raised to equal weight from underweight by Morgan Stanley. And so it just had its credit rating raised for ROKU. And that's it for this morning. What's up, Tiny? Good morning. Yeah, AKER, man, this thing's taking a huge hit. 7, how you feeling about this, man? I hope you're not still holding it. That's a big hit for AKER. Good morning, outsiders. DRIP, Danny, good morning, man. DRIP doesn't look bad either. Gapping up some, flagging a little bit, sitting right at 750. Had a big day on Friday as well. And this thing's kind of been moving up since then. So we'll see what DRIP can do. Gonna watch this one for sure as well. Let me catch back up with the chat. What's up, Sean? Good morning, man. Yeah, I'm definitely watching ZTO here. It's partnering with Alibaba, I believe. Sean is why it's ultimately up. TOPS 7. Oh yeah, TOPS, massive drop for this one as well. Man, when did TOPS? I think this one's up on a split, I believe, isn't it? If I remember correctly, this one's a split. Okay, that makes sense. All right. But yeah, this one's down a ton, This one would probably be down to like, what, 10 cents if it was back at the price it was previously. What's up, Mitch? Nice, Joshua. Hey, man. Whatever works, bro. Joshua, so I know you were holding it whenever it was halted and never resumed. So if that happens and you still technically own shares of it, are you allowed to share? Does it let you sell it in the OTC market after it gets relisted in OTC? Does that happen? Even though it's switched You know what I mean? Even though it switched, man, I can't think of the word. It's been a long weekend for me, guys. That's not too bad, Joshua. Yeah, but it resumed, I think, on the OTC market. Let me see. Yeah, it resumed on the OTC market. Excuse me. And so even though it was relisted in a different exchange, there's the word exchange. It still lets you sold. All right, nice. That's good to know. If that ever happens to me, most of the time they always get relisted somewhere else. So, but yeah, if you're just now joining us, guys, I absolutely hate flying, and I had the worst flight. Like, I'd always told my wife I did not want to fly, especially to New Orleans. I would rather just drive. But we ended up flying, and I'm scared to death of heights. And the plane there went fine. The plane back was terrible. The oxygen mask dropped. We had severe turbulence. I had to wear an oxygen mask for literally half the plane ride. Alarms were going off. The AC was broken, so it was like 90 degrees in this plane. And like I said before, the oxygen mask dropped, and they just didn't say anything for like 5 minutes. They just kind of let us sit there and panic, and then 5 minutes later, they're like, oh yeah, the air pressure isn't at a safe level, so you need to put on your oxygen masks. And so it was horrible. I never want to fly again, man. I hate flying, but yeah, that happened this weekend, so I'm still kind of freaking out about it. I got some good videos and pictures of it, though. Nice, Josh. Yeah, as long as they let you sell, that's good, man. All right, so yeah, we got a lot of decent movers though in the market today. We've got some big gappers, so it looks like the volume's okay in the market. MYSZ is surprising though. Up to 119 now, big move. And this is one I can actually trade. VVPR gapping. CYRX. So yeah, we've got some actually decent movers today. It's really not too bad. Hey Mitch, I gotta remove that comment, man. Listen, like, I don't mind if people, like, I'll give you a shout out once the stream's over, but if you're streaming at the same time I am, I just, like, man, you and I are cool, but if you're streaming at the same time I am, you can't advertise it during my stream. I'll give you a shout out after the stream if you're gonna stream after I'm done, but yeah, don't, not while I'm streaming, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like, I don't mind helping you promote it, man. Just not while I'm streaming. You know what I mean? OLED, Ronald. Yeah, I mean, this one's just really expensive, I can try to trade it. It's kind of out of my comfort zone. I've never really traded these really expensive stocks, if that makes sense, Good morning, Rise. Oh yeah, no, I understand, Mitch. Like I said, you and I are cool, man. Like, I don't mind helping your channel out, man. I really don't. I'll give you a shout out once I'm about to close the stream down. Right before I'll tell everybody to go check out your stream. But yeah, just not during my stream. You know what I mean? But yeah, Ella, can't talk right now. Yeah, I was at a wedding this weekend, guys. So sorry I didn't have any content out. I'm still a little hungover from it. But OLED, yeah, it's a little bit more expensive than I usually trade. It's riding the VWAP nicely though. Yeah, Tiny, it was scary, man. Like, I hate flying. I'm scared of heights. Deep down I understand that flying's actually safer than driving, but my wife was just telling me I'm really unlucky because she said she's flown tons of times. It's never happened. So the one time I fly, the oxygen mask dropped. The pilot had to continuously fly up and down just to try to get us to a safe level because the cabin pressure wasn't right. And so we had to wear oxygen masks the whole time. Our ears kept popping because he had to go up and down. The AC was broken. Alarms were going off mid-flight the entire time. It was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah, Seven is live streaming underwater basket weaving. So everybody join him. Check him out. It's a really exciting channel. Nice, Tiny. Hey, good trade. Good trade. But yeah, guys, I don't have too much left in this TradeNet account, and so I'll probably just try to go big with what's left. I think that's kind of the best bet I have with this is just trying to go big and just hope I get in on a good trade. Um, I'll probably try to use at least 100 shares and just try to go big and see if I can try to pull this account up. If not, I have another TradeNet account that I'm going to switch to, but we'll see what I can do here. Try to let it work. The kids weren't with me, Seven. It's literally like I was telling people, this is the first time my wife and I have been away from our kids in 5 years. We've had date nights and stuff where my mother-in-law watches the kids, but this is the first time that we've been away from my son, more specifically. This is the first time we've been away from my son for more than 2 days in 5 years, since he was born, and 4 years ago. And so yeah, it was nice to get away without the kids. They wouldn't have had fun. I mean, it was a wedding. Everybody was drinking. You know how weddings go. But it was fun. 14,000 in buying power is what it starts you off with, Sean. Dedrick, when I say riding the VWAP, let me find one of them. What was it? OLED, I think it was what it was. So when I say riding the VWAP, you can see this purple line on my chart is the VWAP. And you can see it's kind of riding it. It's bouncing off of it. It pushes up, bounces off of the VWAP, pushes up again, bounces off of the VWAP. So it's essentially just riding above the VWAP. It's using that level as support and continuing to bounce off of it is what I mean by that. Yeah, for sure, Seven. Yeah, it was sketchy, man. It was bad, you know. I've only flown a few times in the last 10 years, and so they don't need that. They've been on a plane before with us. Last year we went to Michigan on a plane, and they did fine, but yeah, they would have freaked out if they were on the plane. ZOES. Yeah, ZOES looks interesting. I actually shorted this one and made a little bit of money with it on Friday. Um, it is at 885. So it's gapping up some. But yeah, like I said, deep down I understand that plane rides are actually safer than driving, And so I think it's just a lack of control. I just like to be in control of stuff. And so on a plane, I just feel out of control. And so it's just kind of anxiety I have with it. At the same time, I still understand it's safer than driving, but it's still, I still didn't like it. But yeah, TXMD is one I'm keeping an eye on. Watching ZTO maybe for a short. Same thing with TRXC and Momo here. See if I can catch them on the way down. Watching MYSZ, we'll see what this one can do. It's up a big amount already in pre-market. It's at 118 now, so I'll watch this one as well. Yeah, I've been liking the VWAP more and more as well. It's just a very strong support and resistance area. If you look at a chart, like a daily chart on the VWAP, you can see it just bounces off of there a ton. Really good support and resistance level. I'm trying to find one that was moving a lot in the last few days. GERN maybe. Let me look at GERN. You can see most of the time when it hits the VWAP, it bounces, but it's just a very strong support and resistance line. If it's above the VWAP, most of the time people think it's bullish, and if it's under it, they think it's bearish. But you can just see it bounces off of it a ton, uses it as support, and so you can kind of get a good idea of the trend of the stock by looking at the VWAP. It's something I've been using more and more the last few days. You can see GERN as well, bouncing directly off of it. A lot of the time you'll notice it's right at half or whole dollars. And so if the VWAP is right at around a whole dollar, many times it'll bounce off of it there. And so that's kind of a strategy I've been trying to mess around with, is half and whole dollar bounces using the VWAP. NVCN, Ronald. Yeah, I mean, it's gapping down some. Like a lot of these cheap stocks, you can see TOPS is kind of washing out. AKER, same thing. Big drop. Bouncing off of 50, so we'll see how it acts here. Right, any more what, Ronald? Alright, ZTO's rebounding here, breaking above the VWAP, testing that $22 point. PTN Maze. PTN just doesn't have, it doesn't have that much volume, and it's very choppy. It looks like a higher float stock, so we'll see. And just my opinion, it's not my favorite one, but we'll see. Robinhood's not letting you buy more shares. What's up, Art? Appreciate the sub, man. Welcome, man. Appreciate it. MU. Yeah, MU's been moving a lot the last few days. Last few weeks, really. Yeah, since it crossed over the VWAP here at around 60.50, it's been riding it as well. It's at 61.44, but it's been bouncing off of it as well. But yeah, like I said, since my account doesn't have much left, I'll try to kind of, I'm probably just going to try to go big with it and try to get a few good trades in and build it up some. For NVCN, yeah, a lot of times Robinhood doesn't let you trade the really cheap stocks, kind of like U-Stock, and TradeNet for that matter. ZTO sitting right at that $22 level. What's up, Shah? Welcome. Right, that's what I'm gonna do, Mitch. I'm not just gonna go big off the bat. I'll probably try to do just that, which is kind of scale into it. I'll probably start with like 75 shares and then add, or maybe 100 shares and then add another 100 once it starts to maybe pull back some. Yeah, I'll probably end up doing that, Mitch. That's kind of what I'm looking for anyways. But yeah, the market's actually pretty decent today. Let's look at the SPY. SPY is down, which is surprising. We'll see how it acts at the open here. Keep an eye on MYSZ as well. This one's had a lot of movement in pre-market this morning. Yeah, I'll probably do that, Mitch. The biggest thing is, right, exactly 7. Anything under 5 cents starts to get a little sketchy with most brokers just because it's the volume's usually low and it starts to kind of get into OTC territory. But yeah, guys, we have about 3 minutes left. What's up, James? Yeah, and you as well, man. Yeah, mine was good. I had a wedding. Yesterday was okay, too. Went out and did some stuff with the kids. But yeah, hope everyone had a good 3-day weekend as well. But yeah, we got 3 minutes, guys. But yeah, I'll probably be a little bit more active today. I'm going to try to wait for my good setups, but going to try to be a little bit more active today as well. ADOM. D. ADOM, you know, it doesn't look too bad. Excuse me. It's gapping down some, but it's moving some, and it's right around the VWAP, so we'll see what ADOM can do as well. I kind of like that one as well. BOSC. Yeah, no worries, James. Yeah, appreciate it, Shah. Yeah, I'm actually in Texas, so shout out from Texas. BOSC. Yeah, BOSC, I just want to see some more volume with it. That's the biggest thing. All right, guys, we got about 2 minutes left, a little bit less than 2 minutes. BTGN's bouncing some here in pre-market as well. It's up to 140. It could mean anything, Ronald. It could mean that it could pop up here. It could drop. You don't really know. Volume just means there's a lot of people trading it. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go in either direction. TXMD getting a little volume pop as well. It's up to 658. All right, guys, we got 1 minute left, so good luck, everyone. Nice, Kitty. Yeah, I'm in the Houston area, right around Houston. Yeah, I'm from Louisiana, though. I just got back from New Orleans yesterday. All right, so ZTO is starting to fall a little bit here. It's at 21.50 now. We got 30 seconds until the market open, guys. Right, exactly, 7. Appreciate that, man. You do a better job at it of explaining it than I do, man. But yeah, that's 100% 7. That's right. ZTO hitting that $21 level. I'm kind of bummed out that ZTO made this big drop before the open. I would have preferred it to wait until the open to make any significant drop, but we'll see what happens. Market's opening up right now. All right, so there's the open. Watching TRXC here. Keeping an eye on everything. ROKU making a massive drop here. You can see ROKU pulling back some, bouncing off of the support at 38.65. TRXC dropping some. It's at 377. Yeah, appreciate it. Obvious. Welcome, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I miss home for sure. All right, so I'm watching MYSZ here. We'll see how it reacts. Really, the level I'm watching is that 122 point and the VWAP at 115. See which way it can go. VTGN washing out some. Momo bouncing back. It's up to 43.75 after a pullback before the open. All right, so TRXC having a little washout long here. Breaking over those highs of the day, sitting right at the VWAP now. We'll see how it reacts to the VWAP. DRIP starting to fall some. ROKU bounced all the way back here. It's at 38.95. MYSZ is starting to wash under the VWAP at 115. All right, TRXC is back down. Really choppy, a lot of down wicks here, which means a lot of selling pressure, or buying pressure, I should say. Our MOMO bouncing up some. TXMD washing. Gonna let the market calm down a little bit before I jump in anything. ZTO falling down, breaking under the low of the day here. Keeping an eye on this one. If it breaks under this and then holds this area right around 21 as resistance, I may jump in ZTO. BGI. Yeah, look at BGI, guys. Good call. Check out BGI. Small gap, but look at this thing run from 160 to 220 in 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes. But look, big run on BGI here. Keeping an eye on ZTO pretty closely here. All right, so I'm in ZTO. it bounces up, starts testing this area, and then holds it as a resistance and breaks this low, I may add to it. See how it reacts here. I got a little bit of room. Hold on, guys. Alright, so I'm still trying to give ZTO a little bit of time here. My wife had a question for me. I missed my exit. I don't know how I feel about it now. We'll see. I have a little bit of room here to see if it continues falling. See if we can get under 50 again. There it goes. Alright, so I'm out for an 840 gain. I guess I could have held a little bit longer. I got to focus on using bigger sizing here. And definitely could have held it a little bit longer, especially with this drop. But I'll take the small gain. Yeah, I definitely should have added on that drop. Something I need to work on for sure. Like the key setup with this one, what I would have made a nice gain, would be to add when it bounces off of this 50-cent level. And then ride it down like it did. Just missed the opportunity. I mean, I got a small gain, but that's one of the ones I'm aggravated with. MYSZ here. Let me see if I can trade BGI. Sorry, my wife actually came up to me and told me that she texted the news, like one of the the media outlets here in Houston, and they responded back to her about the plane ride we took this weekend. And so we'll see what happens with that. But that's what she was coming up to me asking. Kind of distracted me while I was in the trade. That's why I had to mute it. What's up, Power Zone? What's up, man? Alright, I'm looking at DRIP here. BGI is not tradable in TradeNet, but I'm looking at DRIP here. Kind of bummed out. This would have been a really nice setup to hold through on ZTO. Looking at DRIP here, it just broke under these lows at 723. I think it may run into support here at 706, so we'll watch that one. Momo starting to crack under the low of the day here. This is another one to watch. And PBR is starting to bounce. MYSZ ended up coming all the way back here. If you look at MYSZ, it's up to 124 now. Yeah, James, the biggest thing, like I was talking to Mitch about it, and the biggest thing is just to I need to learn to add size on moves like this. Like if I would have added at this 50-cent level, I would have been up twice as much at 2027 if I would have exited at the low right there, which is unlikely, but would have been a nice gain regardless. VTGN cracking under the lows here, continuing to fall. This one looks interesting, especially if it pushes up and holds this 133 level as resistance. NAKD outsider. Yeah, NAKD made a really nice move this morning as well. It's starting to pull back some from it, but NAKD, it's not tradable in TradeNet, unfortunately. Watching BTGN pretty closely here. Gotta look at the daily real quick, at least the 5-minute. See how much support it's gonna have. Let's see, it's got some at 135. Yeah, if it cracks under here, I may jump in BTGN going short, trying to ride this thing back down. And TRXC ended up cracking under the lows here. I gotta learn to use bigger sizing. I was supposed to use bigger sizing today, and this would have been a, this was a picture perfect trade that I kind of looked for, but just kind of missed it. Couldn't take advantage of it. Watching BTGN pretty closely here. And TRXC breaking under the lows. I think it may bounce at 350. That's the only thing kind of stopping me from getting into it. NYSZ here, guys, breaking the high of the day. Up to 127 at its highs now, flagging some for sure. Watching this one at 125, see if it can hold over that level. Continue pushing here. Yeah, ADOM's tradable, Brendan. Oh yeah, it broke under the lows as well. Yeah, look at MYZ run, MYSZ. All right, we'll see what ZTO does here. See if it bounces off of this 2085 or 2088 previous support. If it uses that area as resistance now. TXMD made a huge wash. That would have been a beautiful short as well. I appreciate the sub, Magnetic. Appreciate it, man. Welcome. And if ADOM can get under this 137 level, I may short it, looking for an exit down maybe to 130. Not a lot of room though, we'll see. Man, ROKU ended up bouncing back pretty strong here. Alright, so I'm keeping an eye on TRXC. It may have a little bit of a gap to fill if it gets underneath 360. Biggest problem I'm thinking about is this 350 level. I think it'll bounce off of here for almost. It'll most likely bounce right here at 350. PI, Sean. Yeah, PI's been flagging some this morning, moving up nicely. MYSZ is up to 135. Had a really nice run. It's up to 137 now. Continues to push. Watching TRXC. Gonna look at it under this 360 level. ADOM bounced all the way back to 150 and it broke it. CHCI. Yeah, CHCI is getting some volume here. It's up to 430. Man, MYSZ is probably one of the biggest strong movers of today. PBR ended up bouncing back from this big gap down it had. Alright, TRXC is starting to test under these lows here at 360. Nice, Josh. Looks like a good trade, bro. Look at Momo here breaking over the VWAP, testing 43.50. Here's PBR breaking the high of the day as well. It's up to 1161. Up to 1163. PBR breaking the high of the day here. Man, another really strong one today is ROKU here. Look at this thing move. Kind of swingy though, but looking pretty strong. Watching GERN here, it's been finding a ton of support at 475. Let's see if we can eventually get under there, maybe start dropping some. Yeah, ZTO, I mean, I'm not too upset with my exit. I got out at like a 2045 right here, 2048 right here. And so I got out around the low. Took advantage of most of the move, but we'll see what happens with it now. Watching DRIP here, you know, it's kind of drawing a line in the sand right here where this previous support was at 7. Very small range for a $7 stock though. We'll see. All right, watching TRXC here, I still think it looks weak, but it's finding a lot of support at 360. And so let's see if it can crack under this 360 level. It's had a lot of support there. If it cracks under there, it may wash, so keeping an eye on that one. CHCI. Yeah, look at CHCI run. That volume spike kicked in, man. This thing's starting to push. Riding the VWAP nicely as well here. Alright, there goes TRXC down to 362. We'll see if we can get that momentum under this 360 level. All right, there goes TRXC. Sorry, I'm talking to my wife. There goes TRXC breaking under 360. That's really the break I was looking for. The reason I'm not jumping in is because 350 is right underneath it. But I still think your entry was a pretty good entry. Who was it? Who said they were holding this thing? Joshua. I still think your entry was a good entry. If I was to get in now, it would just be a little bit too low. I think it may bounce off of 350, but I think that's still enough for you to have a decent gain. So yeah, I hope it continues dropping for you, Joshua. Thank you. All right, so TRXC sitting at 359 now. Let's see if this previous support turns into resistance at 361. I'm watching DRIP pretty closely here, and CHCI looks to be bouncing off of the VWAP. We'll see if it holds and continues. Carol. I know, just don't start the vacuum right now. It's too loud. Nice, Mitch. Good job, man. Good trade, bro. HMNY. Yeah, look at HMNY here. And this is another one of those rare occurrences that I can actually trade a sub 50-cent stock on TradeNet. Yeah, I can trade HMNY on TradeNet, so I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate the sub, Teddy. Welcome, man. Appreciate it. Kind of watching GERN here. Having a volume spike. We'll see if we can get over 480. It's just been really choppy this morning, though, so we'll see what happens with it. MYSZ pulling all the way back to 126. Yeah. Yeah, I have one of those, I think ours is called a Nido. It's one of those, like, smart vacuums that go around and vacuum your house by themselves. And while it's a cool thing to have, the thing's just loud, and it just always bumps into me. I have to, like, yell at it to go away, you know. It'll listen to me, though. I can say, go home, vacuum, and it'll, like, go to its little corner in the room. Technology, man. Yeah, I just got to yell at the vacuum. Get out of here, vacuum. Go home. And it'll listen to me. ADOM dropping some more at 143. Good call. CREG. Yeah, CREG, the volume's just too low. Here goes TRXC testing these lows again. AXON. Yeah, look at AXON. I missed this one. This one had a nice run today as well. Been riding the VWAP all morning. All right, this is kind of the crucial level for CHCI. It's sitting right at the VWAP now. It looks like it wants to hold that area as support after this big pullback. And so if it can hold over the VWAP, you know, it may continue to run. But if it breaks underneath the VWAP, I think it may start giving back some of these gains. So we'll see. Nice, Josh. Yeah, it looks like it's going to continue going lower for you. It's finding some support there, but it's moving slowly. And so I hope it works out for you, man. It looks like it's going to, but we'll see. It really needs to crack under that 357 level, but it looks good. Good trade so far, man. I feel you, man. Every time I'm in a trade going short, my mouse is always right over the buy button. All right, let's see if we can crack under this 357 level for you, Josh. All right, HMNY pulling back, hitting the VWAP here. CHCI testing the $0.50 at 450 as well. CODX halted, Sean. Yeah, CODX at 220 now. Getting halted on the way up. There it goes for you. There it goes, Joshua. Looking good for you, man. ZOES. Kind of back and forth, choppy action. TRXC down to 355. $354, $353, looking good. Let's see if it cracks under that $0.50 now. I mean, I think it still will probably bounce at the 350 level, but who knows? It could crack under it. We'll see. If it breaks under there, though, if it breaks under 350, it's got a big gap to fill down to 317. You're out, Josh? MYSZ is starting to fall down as well. It had its run. People are just starting to cover. It's getting squeezed down, it looks like. Watching CHCI here, see if it continues to hold this VWAP and push up. $353 for TRXC. Yeah, it bounced right off that $0.50. Still in. 353. Let's see if we can crack under 350 for you. Hey, I'm rooting for you, man. I hope it works. Looks good so far. So far, it's a nice trade, man. Watching DRIP here. The only trade I really see that I'm thinking about is DRIP under this $7 level. Because if it breaks under there, it may have a little bit of room down to 682. PBR. I still have a little bit of FOMO here with ZTO. I should have used bigger sizing. And I mean, usually a $9 gain would be fine with me, but it just did what I wanted it to right afterwards, and so I'm kind of bummed out that I didn't use bigger sizing, take a little bit larger gain out of the market. It's a green day thus far. All right, there goes 350 with TRXC, looking good. Let's see if it continues to crack here. It's got a gap to fill if it breaks under 352. See if you can get under there and hold. Yeah, this is kind of the make or break point with TRXC. See if it can hold under 350. Like I said, it's got this entire gap right here. If you can see this gap, this is the gap I'm talking about, from 350 down to 317. So it does have a gap to fill if it breaks under there. Yeah, CHCI is just riding that VWAP thus far, man. That's the kind of level I'm watching. 440. Yeah, and for longs, it would have to break the high of the day. I agree. All right, so TRXC, like I said, it's kind of at that make or break moment here. I'm still watching DRIP. All right, there goes 349. There it goes down to 348. Looking weak. Breaking under these lows here. 347, nice. Let's see if it fills some of this gap now. $346. There's a nice drop here. Looking weak. Down to 345. Alright, so let's see if it holds that 350 area as resistance now. It's looking pretty weak. 345. There it goes. A lot of sellers on the bid, on the ask, I mean. 344 looks good. Kind of got a little bit of FOMO with TRXC because if you think about, like, if you've ever heard me talk about my favorite strategy, TRXC is a picture perfect example of it. You can see it gapped up way more than 10%. And it just failed at the open, which happens a ton with these big overextended gaps. And this is ultimately why it's my favorite setup. As you can see, TRXC big gap up from about 315 to 418. And then when the open happened, everybody just started covering their positions they held overnight. And this thing just got squeezed down. So these overextended shorts are my favorite setup for this reason. Look like a beautiful example of it. Maybe a little bit of FOMO here, but I'm happy that you're holding this thing, Joshua, and that you could take advantage of it, man. I guess ZTO, I mean, I did take advantage of one of them today. ZTO, kind of the same plan here. And so I did take advantage of one of these moves like this, but TRXC looks like the better option. Down to 342. A small pullback up. Here goes CHCI. Are you short in CHCI, Mitch? It broke under the VWAP again, starting to fall some. Hey, it's still a good trade, Mitch. AXON. Alright, wow, look at AXON here. This thing's going crazy. DRIP. DRIP starting to look like I wanted it to. HMNY trying to break the high of the day here as well. It's at 45.77. Almost to 47, or almost to 46 cents. All right, we'll see if TRXC continues to hold that 350 level as resistance now that it broke under it. So yeah, the name of the game tomorrow is got to be the name of the game tomorrow needs to be bigger sizing and adding to my position, scaling into my positions. That's what I need to try to do tomorrow. Small gain on the day, very small, but I'll take it, and hopefully I can get some good luck tomorrow with my trades. Kind of bummed out. If I would have taken that sizing I needed to take with ZTO, I would have been up much more. And so I'm kind of bummed out about it, but I mean, it's a green day. I can't be too upset with it. CODX, outsiders. Hey guys, my son's school just called. He's running a fever of 102, so I have to go deal with that. Everybody go check out Mitch Hochstream, MITCHHOCH. I gotta go, guys. My son's running a fever, so good luck, guys, for the rest of the day. I'll see you all tomorrow. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and click the like button right now on this video. If you do me a favor, click the like button. I really appreciate it. My son's running a fever, so I gotta go, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.